The lively fiasco, when gossip outran truth. Ladies and gentlemen, dames and dapper gents, gather round your wireless sets, or whatever pocket wizardry you kids use these days, because the Spurious Observer is on the air, and today, we've got a tale as tart as a lemon pie and twice as messy. The setting? A city of silver screens and golden façades. The players? Oh, just your everyday starlet-turned-lifestyle priestess Blake Lively and the nation's modern-day Gregory Peck in a Henley, Justin Baldoni. And the story? Why, it's got more twists than a Charleston contest at the Savoy. Now, for those of you just tuning in from under a rock, or worse, Facebook, let me lay it out for you plain. Miss Lively, once America's cheeky sweetheart and still clinging to her reputation with the tips of manicured fingers, saw fit to hurl some rather serious allegations in the direction of Mr. Baldoni. Accusations, my dears, of the gravest nature, cryptic, chilling, and suspiciously timed. No specifics, mind you. Just enough to stir the pot but not enough to name the ingredients. Of course, in this era of instant outrage and digital mobbing, the internet practically combusted. #believe Blake trended faster than a martini at a speakeasy. But here's where it gets good. The public didn't buy it. Not this time. Not when the supposed villain was Justin Baldoni, that eloquent everyman with the soulful eyes, husband of the year credentials, and the uncanny ability to cry without looking sweaty. You see, Baldoni didn't retaliate. Didn't wail, didn't post cryptic quotes about betrayal or loyalty. No sir. He did what men of integrity do when the spotlight turns cruel. He stood still. He said little, did less, and let the truth rise to the surface like cream in your morning coffee. And oh, how it rose. You could hear the collective gasp when the evidence, or lack thereof, began to surface. Timelines didn't match, corroboration collapsed, and Blake's tale, once poised to be her Oscar-worthy courtroom moment, began to crumble like cheap theatre props in a summer stock play. It called to mind a tale from the dusty boudoirs of British scandal, the one and only Seymour Worsley, the scandalous Lady W. She, unlike Miss Lively, embraced her truth like a corseted crusader, marching into court and declaring she'd had not one, not two, but 27 lovers, and that her husband could go hang for trying to shame her. A legend, Seymour was. Honest, unashamed, and gloriously ahead of her time. Alas, Blake's performance lacked Seymour's conviction and clarity. Where Lady Worsley's scandal was a sword of self-liberation, Lively's appeared to be more of a flailing butter knife, aimed without precision and flung without proof. And so, as the courtroom filled with whispers, gasps, and one very bored bailiff, the verdict approached like a freight train on silk tracks. The accusation? Unsubstantiated. The victim? Not Justin Baldoni, but truth itself. The fallout? Swift, merciless, and gloriously public. Even the Hollywood set, those ever-shifting mirages of virtue, began to backpedal. PR teams scrambled like waiters during a wine spill. Celebrities who'd offered thinly veiled support for Blake suddenly hadn't seen the full context. Context, in this town, is often code for we were wrong, but we're too Botox to admit it. Now, don't misunderstand. This isn't a gloat, nor is it a takedown. It's a reminder, plain and sincere. Accusations should be sacred, not strategic. Because when they're used as weapons rather than warnings, they lose their weight, and the real victims, men and women alike, are left unheard amid the noise of performance. So where do things stand now? Mr. Baldoni walks tall, perhaps a touch tired, perhaps a shade wiser, but vindicated in the eyes of those who matter. The people. The public. The ones who've been watching long enough to know sincerity from cinema. And Blake. Sources say she's taking time to reflect, which in Hollywood is code for lighting sage over a career hiccup and calling it spiritual growth. And us? Well, we at the Spurious Observer remain your humble servants of scandal and truth, peeling back the velvet curtain of celebrity one story at a time. But before we let you off the hook, there's just one last absurd request. Brace yourself, this one's a doozy. Apparently, we must now ask you to like, subscribe, comment, and hit a little bell-shaped icon. Yes, a bell, like some kind of digital butler, so that you can be notified, whatever that means, when more of these stories come dripping down the grapevine and into your eager ears. So ring the bell, write a quip, smash a heart-shaped button, do what the future demands, darlings. Until next time, this has been the Spurious Observer. Reporting not from the bench, but from the bar, preferably with a gin and just enough scandal to stir it.